So phase one of the project is done. We've got our 4-ply LVL in here. We've brought our joists over, tied them in with our hangers, and we've got a 5-layer post there all the way down onto the foundation. Well, onto the sill plate that's on the foundation. And then we'll rebuild that structure there, what we can from the inside. And then now we're moving on to phase 2, which that roof leak was there for quite some time. This roof leak is a little less aged, but still yet a problem. And you can see the microbial growth that's there. And so we've got some jacks in here picking that up. If you could see it, you probably can't see it in the video, but that wall had a pretty good bow in it where there was a window there. Clearly you can see that 2x6 header was not sufficient to span that far. So we're going to take the header out, reframe that wall, and repair what we can from the bottom side of this roof and stuff. So
and is that, so you said that header is not sufficient there. Is that normally sufficient if there's not a second story above or even a span that large?
Yeah,
is that not large enough?
Yeah, on a span, I mean, I think that thing's close to 8 foot. It might only be 7, but that's just a long span for a 2x6 header. So it's 8'3" inside to inside. So that's way too big for a 2x6. And then they added a second floor on top of that. You know, maybe when it was just fresh and new and just a roof on it, it might have been sufficient. I wouldn't have done it that way, but it might have been fine. So anyways, we're gonna take that out, take the header out, take some of the rotted framing that we can get to, take it out. And I know some of the rotted framing doesn't sound good, but we just don't have access to everything. And we can't just, the people don't have an unlimited budget. We're gonna do the very best we can with what we have access to. The other thing you'll see is the bare brick. There was a window there, obviously. I've already called our installation contractor. I believe we're gonna go ahead and go back with the closed cell foam so we can spray it right tight to the brick and the framing. It's waterproof, it's gonna be draft proof. Because if you look, I don't know if Garrett's been able to see any, but you can see some daylight coming through. We actually had a wasp nest on the inside where they're coming through. So yeah, lots of things we're trying to correct and doing it all with a limited budget. So sometimes you got to do the best you can do.
Here we are at this header. Not really headering much, so to speak. It's all rotted out on the back side. Okay, we got all the rotted and old framing out of the way. We're going to take these support studs right here that help support the header. I'm going to take that out and take out the header next. And keep going. Colton's finishing bending over nails. We got the headers all out. And we got all the framing all the way down to the sill plate is out. Now we gotta get this sill plate out of here. Get some of the rotted subfloor that you see. We've got some rot up here to care for. I'm gonna cut out some of this top plate here, kind of where those red marks are. That's where it's rotted. So we'll end up cutting out the bottom plate below the top most plate. So that we can slide a new board up in there, and then we'll nail one below that to help carry and distribute the load from that section. And then we'll start going back together. We'll stud it in like a standard wall. We'll have studs on 16-inch centers going down through there, kind of like they were, but there'll be whole studs instead of bits and chunks and pieces and that sort of thing. Okay, here's what we got. We got the top plate patched back together for now, and that's going to tie in with where studs align, so we're transferring weight through those patches directly into studs. And then down here we've cut out the rotted floor. Along this joist we're splitting the difference, and we'll put a new patch in over both those joists, over the hole you can see there. And then you can also see where we cut the sill plate here right alongside this stud, and we cut it straddling that board down that way, straddling that floorboard, that subfloor down there. So we'll put a new piece of sill plate 2x4 down there, get that tied back together, and then we can start putting in studs in the wall again. Here's a quick little view of what we've got so far. Alright, we got the floor patched, and the new sill plates down there. Tying it all in. Kent and Colton and I are now working on putting the new studs in. Trying to bring that what it's supposed to be and where it's supposed to be as far as height and elevation. Why do you nail it twice beside each other?
Because if you just nail it one nail in the middle or whatever, and the boards want to twist, they want to pull apart from each other. This way you put them side by side more towards the edge, and it stays one true unit.
So it kind of keeps it from curling up.
Well, from twisting.
Okay.
I think we're going to stud this in, and then we're going to put legs up to that to support that, and transfer it right straight down.
Wow, actually put it together right and transfer the load all the way down? Mind-blowing!
So what have you done? Where do we tie it into up there?
Well,
we cut some things out of the way.
Yeah, we cut a bunch of junk out because they put a second floor on top of this roof, and they did put a block in here that then they had a water leak and rotted away, but they never replaced the block. And so we just opened this up to even see what we'd find. There's the floor joists for the second floor up here, 12 inches above this wall. So we put in these studs to transfer all the way down, all the way back up to the corner up there, which has obviously been a problem. We're going to try to get this all taken care of from this end, and then the roofer's going to have to get the top side taken care of from the outside. So, yeah, we replaced most of this wall right here, part of that bottom plate, and we're going to spray foam this exterior wall because they didn't have any kind of sheeting on here, and we're just going to put a waterproofing spray foam insulation in here to try to take care of this customer. So, yeehaw! Well, here we are. We got into this project trying to help out a friend, and we got into it. Weren't quite sure what all we were getting into. Even after we tore the drywall out, we still didn't know for sure what we were getting into. We knew we had a couple of roof leaks that had caused some framing rot, some damage, and so limited access, limited funding, and we're trying to make the best situation. So
we also had a deadline. I don't remember right now. We had a deadline to get it done.
Right.
In and out.
So we're not like the TV shows where you got unlimited money and unlimited time and unlimited resources. So anyways, but it's good. I think we did what we set out to do. We set out to support this beam. We found out there was a lot more on it than what we anticipated, and so we kind of went overkill, to say the least. And on the beam itself, we transferred the load all the way down to the foundation here and over there.
One thing I wanted to point out and remind everybody is that as we're going along and we're going, oh man, what are they doing? Why did they do it this way? We're questioning, genuinely trying to understand, but at the same time, as we go, this is how you should do it, even as we tell you that, and as we show you what the outcome is if you don't do it right. I want to be clear, and we really want to be clear, that we're not trying to bash or put down other contractors. We're all here, we're all learning. We're learning just as much as anybody else doing this kind of thing is. And so the guys who did this, or the gals who did this, originally may have been some friends come together and just trying to save some money and doing what they thought was best and what would work in the long run. But they didn't know the ramifications, the implications. And then compound that with water damage as well, was another big piece of all of this. So I hope our tone is still constructive and is still instructive, and sharing things with you all to watch out for when you have contractors in your home. Are they using hanger joists? Well, it may not be necessary, but maybe you know now what they're there for and why you need them. It's me again, here to close out this video. And so we thank you for watching. We hope that you enjoyed the series that we've just completed here with this beam repair. And we look forward to seeing you again in the future. Don't forget to share this series with someone that you think might find it helpful, or just like hopefully you were able to do, learn a thing or two from it. We'd love to engage with more people in any way we can. But also don't forget to send in questions and topic suggestions that you may have, things around your home that you've seen or had to repair, or maybe are looking at repairs in the future. We would love to help, be a resource, be a help in any way we can. So feel free to leave it in the comments below or send us an email, and we would do our best to respond, whether by video or by written response to your questions and comments. And so with that, we'll close out this video. We thank you again for watching, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.